Oh, WrestleMania 9. Oh, sweet tap dancing baby Jesus Christ, WrestleMania 9. Holy blue-faced Jehovah's pregnant dog, WrestleMania 9 for the love of WrestleMania 9 is bad. Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez, Razor Ramon versus Bob Backlund, Crush versus Doink, Hulk Hogan's "Hey look, I'm a champion again," Bret who? That awful ending, and also the WWE debut of Jim Ross. It's a weird show. 1993 was a difficult year for the company, sliding further into a gaudy neon cartoon nonsense. WrestleMania 9 is that notion defined. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 fascinating facts about WrestleMania 9. Number 10. Jim Ross used his WCW-sponsored radio show to promote it. A week before the grand spectacle, Jim Ross still had not received his release from WCW. He announced his resignation from the company on February 25th after WCW reassigned him from commentary to syndication sales. That's a better use of Jim Ross. Shrewd stuff. As of 1 week before Mania, Ross was still technically signed with WCW, so he decided to stick it to his soon-to-be former employer. Ross hosted a Sunday night radio show on Atlanta's WSB station, and on the March 28th broadcast, he announced that he was WWF's newest broadcaster. He then had Vince McMahon, Bobby Heenan, and Shawn Michaels on his program as guests, promoting WrestleMania 9, and since WCW was paying for the show, Mania got some extra publicity on WCW's dime. Number 9. Oscar was hired after rapping for Vince McMahon. A month after Mania, a southern-based tag team known as the Harlem Knights received a tryout match with Vince's shouty powerhouse. Soon enough, they would be recostumed in multi-cued attire as Mabel and Mo, men on a mission. Their eventual manager Oscar, however, made his impact on the night of WrestleMania 9. Sharp-eyed viewers might have seen Oscar at front row ringside, most notably when Hulk Hogan mulls over Mr. Fuji's challenge. Per Oscar's recollection, he saw McMahon and Randy Savage at Caesar's Palace that evening and approached them, breaking into a freestyle rap on the spot. McMahon apparently enjoyed the impromptu performance enough that he gave his phone number to the rotund rhymer, suggesting the possibility of a role that would showcase his unique skill. Number 8. Shawn Michaels opened WrestleMania for the third year in a row. Before he was the showstopper, he was the show starter. Even though he wasn't yet the headliner, by 1993, Shawn Michaels was still seen as a highly gifted athlete that should kick off an important show with a quality performance. As the Intercontinental Champion, Michaels ended his brief feud with Tatanka in the opener of WrestleMania 9 by taking a count-out loss. 2 years earlier, Michaels and Marty Jannetty went over on Haku and the Barbarian in an underrated match. A year after that, a freshly healed Michaels was given a building block win over Tito Santana. Both matches opened their respective WrestleManias and are a window into how much faith Vince McMahon had in the Heartbreak Kid. Number 7. The ending of the Doink match was intended to be even weirder. Believe it or not, Doink the Clown actually used to be good. Not when he was running around with Dink or any of that SHIT, but when he started and was weird and dirty and evil, he was pretty great. When the cackling clown went over Crush at WrestleMania 9, he was assisted by a body double, basically twin magic but with clowns. That's odd. However, in a story attributed to Dave Meltzer, one of the originally suggested plans for how Doink would win was even odder. Apparently, Doink was to have been fitted with some unusual mechanism in the back of his mask beneath the wig. In the closing moments of the match, Crush, having applied the cranium crunch, was to be sprayed with multicolored matter that would have rendered him blind, and then he would have been pinned. Number 6. The Nasty Boys were originally supposed to face Money Inc. Before the return of Hulk Hogan drastically altered the course of WrestleMania 9, the event was to have seen Ted DiBiase and Erwin R. Shyster defend their tag team gold against a team they've been feuding with since October, the Nasty Boys. If you've never encountered the Nasty Boys, it's basically Toe Jam and Earl, but with two Earls, and neither of them showered. However, in February 1993, WWF ran the angle where Ted DiBiase and Shyster bloody Brutus Beefcake's surgically repaired face, which was a catalyst for Hogan to return as a brother in vengeance. The kayfabe reason for why Brian Knobbs and Jerry Saggs didn't face Money Inc. for the belts at Mania was that they stepped aside for Hogan and Beefcake. How nice! The Nasties would actually leave the company after a European tour in mid-April, following a period of suspension, and wound up back in WCW that summer. Number 5. Hulk Hogan reportedly got his black eye from Randy Savage. Nothing's juicier than a professional wrestling urban legend. When Hulk Hogan arrived at Mania with his left eye looking like hell, people were understandably curious as to why. The kayfabe reason was that Money Inc. had paid off goons to jump Hogan the night before. The quote's real reason is that Hogan injured it in a jet ski accident, just his eye and not anything else apparently. Others claim that Savage drilled Hogan in the face during a heated confrontation. Matt Bourne, aka Doink, avowed in an interview that Savage's ex-wife Elizabeth, they divorced in 1992, was seeing a friend of Hogan's, and that the Hulkster was hiding that fact from Savage. He also claims that the punch definitely did happen, though it's never been confirmed by anyone else. Number 4. On this night, Hogan and Hart both complete the hat trick. If you ask someone to name every wrestler that ever competed for a WWE World, Intercontinental and Tag Team Championship at a WrestleMania, chances are that the Hulkster wouldn't come to mind. Hogan was almost exclusively in the world title scene throughout his WWF career, and it's true, after WrestleMania 9, he competed for all three. Hogan competed in 6 WWF title matches at WrestleMania, with the 7th being a tournament match for a chance at the gold. At WrestleMania 6, Hogan competed for Ultimate Warrior's Intercontinental Championship, a fact that's often lost on many folks. Finally, at 9, Hogan and Beefcake challenged for Money Inc.'s Tag Team Gold to fulfill Hulk's trifecta. Bret Hart also fulfilled the hat-trick at this show, defending the WWF Championship a year after beating Roddy Piper for the Intercontinental title, which was in itself a year after him and Jim Neidhart lost the tag belts to the Nasty Boys. Number 3, Bret Hart was told he was losing the day before. Hart was under the assumption that he would be retaining his WWF Championship over YOKOZUNA at WrestleMania 9, because, you know, he's a babyface, right? That's what happened. Up until the day before the show, no one had told him any different. Then he received a call from Big Vinny, who beckoned Hart to his hotel suite, which might as well have had huge doom clouds floating overhead. Hart was then stunned when McMahon told him he wanted the Hitman to drop the belt to Yokozuna the next day, only for Hogan to grab the belt moments later. Hart reasons that Hogan probably knew even before returning to the company that he'd be getting the championship back at WrestleMania, but the title holder himself only found out about the plan with barely 24 hours notice. Number 2, Bret Hart claims Yokozuna ended their match early. In true Hitman fashion, Hart was determined to make head office see the error of their ways by putting on the best match of the goddamn night, thank you. Of course, having a high caliber match with the gargantuan Yokozuna would be easier said than done, given that Hart was wrestling a super heavyweight and not a fellow quicker paced technician. Hart says he devised a clever match that would leave the big spots for all the closing moments while accentuating each man's strengths, but perhaps due to exhaustion, Yokozuna went into the finishing sequence earlier than Hart was intending. This left Bret Hart annoyed, which is his default mode. And number 1, by 1994, more than 1/3 of the Mania 9 performers were gone. The previous year, 1992, saw a mass departure of many of the top stars, including Hogan, Jake Roberts, Roddy Piper, the Legion of Doom, the Ultimate Warrior, Davey Boy Smith, Sid Justice, amongst many others. In 1993, it was more of the same. Ric Flair, Big Boss Man, and a handful of others were out the door before Mania, and the WrestleMania card itself saw its share of end-of-the-liners. Counting the dark match, 8 out of the 22 wrestlers, or 36%, were gone before the end of the year. Hogan and Beefcake both departed after a tour of Europe that summer. Tito Santana left in August, as did Papa Shango. Ted DiBiase finished up at SummerSlam before concluding his career in All Japan. Matt Bourne was replaced in a DOINK gimmick around the start of autumn, the same time that Giant Gonzalez left the company. That's a giant loss. Mr. Perfect took a sabbatical beginning at the end of October, and despite being at Mania 10, wouldn't wrestle for the company again until 2002. WWF was in trouble, but as often in times of woe, Vince countered poor fortune with utter brilliance. Case in point, WrestleMania 10. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Tell us about it in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you soon. We're never going to stop doing magazines called wrestling. It's time for issue 4, the first magazine of 2017. To celebrate, we're looking back on the wrestling year that was, including end-of-year awards for best and worst matches of 2016, best and worst wrestlers of 2016, best and worst feuds, and many more. Also, a gigantic career retrospective on AJ Styles, Dixie Carter's crimes against wrestling, and how WWE should have booked the road to WrestleMania 2016, written by this sexual Catherine Wheel. As ever, the magazine is available now to order at shop.whatculture.com. For the love of God, buy it.